Now let us recapitulate the laws of, just a minute. Let us recapitulate the laws of thermodynamics, right? So this is the first law. Now here, so this is the mass entering, where this is the enthalpy, kinetic energy, potential energy. This is the change in mass inside the control volume. This is the change in energy. This part is the energy part. Let me this. So this part is the energy part, E, right? While this is the mass. So this gives me the energy part. So this is coming in and this is going out. As now you know that U control volume, U is the specific internal energy and H is the enthalpy. And this is the work. This is the heat transfer coming in. Why it is a dot? This is in joules. This is not in joules, but watts per second. This will be in watts. This will be in watts. Watts, right? And this is in kg per second, and this is in joules per kg. So you're multiplying them, right? So joules per second gives you watts. And this is the work going out, and this is the, along with the flow, this is the energy going out, and this is the environment temperature. See? So this is how you depict the first law, right? Now, and the when we do mass conservation, the change in mass inside the control volume is equal to the mass coming in and the mass going out. The change in energy inside the control volume is the energy coming in, the energy going out through the flow, the heat transfer coming in at some T boundary, temperature T boundary, and this is the work that is being transferred out. Now this is valid for reversible as well as irreversible process. Now regarding the second law, as I said, we have two basic statements, and you can state them in a little bit different ways depending on the book that you study. It says it is impossible for any device that operates on a cycle. It is impossible for a device. It is impossible for a device that operates on a cycle to receive heat from a single reservoir and produce a net amount of work, right? So let us look at this figure 3a. So this is the Kelvin-Planck violation, right? That means it says that you receive some amount of energy from a reservoir. It could be your fuel, and then convert everything into work, right? Convert everything on. That is not possible. That means when you receive heat at a high temperature, you have to also throw away heat at some lower temperature. Then only this work can happen. So you cannot heat engine means work producing device. You cannot have full conversion of energy coming in into work. That is not possible. So that is the violation of the Kelvin-Planck statement. Now, if you look at the other one, it says it is impossible to construct a device. It is impossible to construct a device that operates in a cycle. This thing cycle is that operates in a cycle and produce no effect other than the transfer of heat from a lower temperature body to a higher temperature body. So this is about okay. So it is impossible to construct a device that operates in a cycle and produces no effect other than the transfer of heat from a lower temperature body to a higher temperature body. So let us look at 3B. Clausius statement violation. That statement. It says you're transferring heat from a cold space. This is being transferred, and then all the heat that you get from the cold space is being transferred to the environment, warm environment. That means there is no work being transferred. So that means all the heat that comes from a lower temperature goes to a higher temperature. This is also violation of the statement of second law. So this is applicable for a heat engine, right? This is for a heat engine, and this is applicable for a reverse heat engine. This is a reverse heat engine. So this is for a heat engine, this is a reverse. Reverse heat engine means it transfers heat from a lower temperature and gives it to a higher temperature. But whatever you get from the lower temperature, you will see that this work that will be required will be some positive value. So here this QH, okay, should be greater than QL. QH should be greater than QL. So, but if that is not, then this is violation of the Clausius statement. Okay. Now, what are the properties that we need? Right. So these are we need to know HUS. Right. So these properties, we have these properties where now for ideal gas, for most cases, du is equal to CVDT. That is what we have learned so far. Later on, I will teach you that this is also, suppose the van der Waals gas or some other gas, then you have to consider this. So dH equal to CPDT. Similarly, there are relations for ds also, because unless you are able to know the change in entropy, you will not be able to calculate what is the, you will not be able to solve any problem. So here, now these are also important property relation. Where did this come from? We know that dq is equal to du plus, right? Now for reversible, process, right? This is general, right? First law. First law, where we are neglecting the kinetic energy and potential energy, right? If you neglect these, so first law, if you neglect this, then it becomes this one. Why now? By now you know that when I put a cross here, it means it's a path function. dw is a path function and du is change in internal energy, where du is equal to CVDT for ideal gas. So for reversible process, we will have, this will be TdS equal to du plus dV, right? So this is the volume, or actually I will write specific volume because here everything is specific. Specific volume. So if it's reversible process, dq becomes TdS and dW is PdV. So then this becomes a thermodynamic property relation. This is what we have written here. Right. Now we also know that TH is equal to du plus PdV plus VdP. Right, VdP. So we can write du plus PdV as dH minus VdP, therefore dH minus VdP. Now both these things, right? they involve only thermodynamic states, right? We wrote the process, right? So therefore, so we use the first law for reversible process for derivation, right? For this derivation, right? So this involves only thermodynamic states. Say for example, TdS equal to dq reversible. That is true. But this TdS relation involves only thermodynamic properties. So only therefore always valid. So this involves only the thermodynamic states. So there is no question of reversible or irreversible process, right? This is a state relation. So while deriving it from the first law, we used the first law in the reversible for the reversible process. But once we get a relation in terms of the thermodynamic states, that is a relation between states. It has nothing to do with the process. Okay, nothing to do. These are process independent. This is state dependent. So always valid. Only thermodynamic states depends only only thermodynamic states. So always valid. So this is always valid. This is always valid. So this is how we calculate, right? So we can write. So that means we can write. So we can write equal to T plus V. You can also write ds equal to h t plus minus. Right. So these are this we can also write it like this. So these are, see, while we have studied how to calculate du and dh, we also now know how to calculate ds. So now let us look at the second law equation. Second law equation. So here, this is what is coming in, q dot in by TB, boundary temperature, right? This is the boundary temperature. This is our, basically our TB. So this is the entropy coming in. So here you see there is no work transfer in this picture. There is no work transfer in this picture. So this is the entropy coming in through flow. This is the entropy going in through flow. So of course this is the environment, and this is the Q coming in through the boundary at temperature TB. So Q dot in by TB, that gives me the that is the entropy that is entering, and this is the entropy that is being generated, right? That is entering here, and this is the mass balance, is the entropy balance. So how will I write the entropy equation? And here this means reversible process, irreversible process. So if it is reversible, then this is 0. Irreversible, this is greater than 0. If it is less than 0, it's impossible. So from here, how do we write the equation? The equation will be something like this. If you pictorially, if you see it, so our let me write it differently. Due to flow plus through the boundary we have this is the equation. So where this part is due to flow. Due to flow. If there is no flow, then this part is not there. So for a closed system, there is no flow of fluid, so this part will not be there. We'll have only this. So this is our, now if it is reversible, right? If it is reversible, suppose we have, let us simplify a little bit, right? Simplify. Simplify. Simplify means one, say no flow. Number two, reversible. Right? And then what will happen? Then we will write right. So no flow. So this will be equal to this only. The increase will be only due to the Q in. Right. So this is how this will happen. Now sometimes T boundary could be T infinity. Sometimes check. You have to check. You have to check if it is TB is equal to T infinity. Right? TB is equal to T infinity. Now we have to be careful about the temperature or the boundary where this is happening. Say for example, and it is very, very important, people make mistakes. Suppose this is my control volume. So this is my, say control volume. It's my control volume. Right. This is my, what I should say. This is my system. System, say. It's my system. This is my system. Now my control volume. Now my control volume this is my, say, this is my and uh, so here this is my T boundary, right? This is my T boundary. Let us say this is my same picture I'm drawing, right? This is my T boundary, while outside it is my T infinity. Now what is happening is, so this is my heat coming in, right? Now, if this is my control volume, right? So here, it will be minus infinity, right? Because in my control volume, I'm crossing the control volume, right? I'm crossing the control volume where the temperature is T infinity, right? So here now subtle points I will again discuss later on. Now, when we are talking about it's fine. Let that. So this is here. Why it is irreversible? Because T infinity and TB are different. T infinity, so there is a heat transfer because of some temperature difference. Then it is irreversible. The Qin that is happening is irreversible. So in such a case, it may happen. So this is irreversible heat transfer. The T infinity is not equal to TB. And the control volume is in the uh, the control volume boundary is at T infinity, but the system, right, is at TB, right? So in this case, I'm assuming, right? So here, so wherever the temperature Q crosses the boundary, at that boundary temperature has to be taken. Now what happens is, in this case, uh, here, this is the system boundary is TB, system boundary. Let me write the system boundary. So here, this is irreversible because the environment temperature and this temperature are different, and there is, uh, it's across this. So here there will be some entropy generation due to irreversibility in this interface. This interface is very small. I mean, there is very little different space between the system boundary and the control volume boundary. Very little difference. So what I mean here is, we have to take care of the boundary of your control volume. So here, that may not be equal to the, say for example, this is a hot body, some hot body at some temperature T, hot body. Now will I take the temperature of the hot body while I write the equation, or will I take the environment temperature? It's a hot body at say 100 degrees centigrade and the environment temperature is 30 degrees centigrade. Which one will I take? Will I take the environment temperature, or will I take the uh, my hot body temperature? Now if my control volume matches with my system, then I will take that 100 degrees centigrade or 50 degrees centigrade, whatever is the hot body temperature. So then this SGN will not get included there, right? SGN. If I want to include the irreversibility, then I have to take it little bit away from the hot body, little bit away, so that this is the environment temperature and this is the irreversible heat transfer that is taking place. So I have to know, what do I do? I want to include this irreversibility here or not? Based on that, I have to choose my TB. This is very, very important. Students make mistakes. So this TB is a very critical thing, very critical, right? This TB is very, very critical. TB is very, very critical, very critical. How to choose it? Okay. Now, so now you know how to apply the, how to write the second law properly. And I have all the nuances that I have described. Very important to choose the right value of body TB, the boundary temperature. So it depends on whether I want to include this irreversibility. Naturally, because of heat transfer across the uh, boundary, so this is entropy generation because the environment temperature is different from the boundary, and this is a hot body. And heat transfer is taking place from the environment to the body. So we have to be very careful about where we take the TB. And we have talked about these relations. So, we have to know what is the change in entropy. Otherwise, how will you do the second law calculation? So that is very important. Another very important thing that is there is the, if I talk about the, at some P1, say, at some P1, right? Right. So this is, see, this is liquid. Pure vapor, right? So what is this? If this is the H here, if we are talking about H here, this is the TS diagram. TS diagram. And what is this? VFG and HFG. So this is, I told you, this is the, we call this as F. This point we call as G. Right. So HFG, this point is F and this point is G. Right. So HFG and VFG, V at G, V at F. So this is our specific volume. This is meter cube per kg. This is meter cube per kg. Right? So this is VFG, specific volume. So this is the difference between them. And what is the T? T is the T sat. This is our at the saturation temperature where the transformation is happening. Right? So dP by dt sat. Right? So if I have another one, say if I have another one here, right? So let me use a so P1, P2. So this dP is basically, right? Let me write it. So my dP is equal to, say, P2 minus P1, right? And dt this is what I mean. dP is this P2 minus P1 sat, right? And T2 minus T1 sat. So this is our, this shows how the P and T changes. So this will have one, so this will be P2 and T sat. So the temperature, saturation temperature is changing. So pressure is also changing, right? So if I do the diagram like this, slope becomes the slope, right? So water at 100 degrees centigrade is 1 atmosphere. So this gives me the slope, because at different temperatures you will have different pressures, right? Unique. So this gives that ratio. So this is also when we have phase change, then this is what is happening, right? So I think let us end it here. Right? If you have any questions regarding the second law, then you can ask me, right, about whether you've understood when Sgen is equal to 0, that means everything is reversible. Right? There's no Sgen here. There's no Sgen means there's no difference between the environment and the boundary temperature where this is happening. So, and this is how pictorially you can represent the second law equation, where you can see work transfer do not play any role in entropy generation. It is the heat transfer. But heat transfer and work transfer are related through the first law of thermodynamics. Here, we have both heat transfer and work transfer. Right? And also, this kinetic energy, potential energy also do not have any role to play here. No kinetic energy, no potential energy here. That also do not have a role to play. It's mainly the heat transfer here, right? And that is S dot gen has to be checked to look at the feasibility. So because you can have a reversible process, you can have an irreversible process, feasible irreversible process, right? This is the feasible irreversible process. So let us end it here if you have no other questions. So tomorrow, next class, we will go through some problems, how to solve once you know these things. Now, just to give you an example here, we will later on. So this is our TS diagram. This is the TS diagram where at any temperature, what is the entropy. This is very much required for our second law analysis, along with specific volume, along with pressure, right? PV. Then this is our at different temperature. This is for water. This is the property of water. So this is at 1 megapascal. This is at 10 megapascal. And see the temperature difference. Different temperatures you have. Right? So this is how we get the all the properties. Of course, it is tabulated form. You can get it in tabulated form also. Now, just to give you an idea. Okay. So when we talk about Carnot cycle, we have discussed this Carnot cycle. So this is what we are talking about, right? Right. So constant temperature, heat rejection, constant entropy. Constant entropy means there is no reversible heat transfer taking place. Reversible adiabatic is constant entropy. Right? There is no entropy generation here. Right? Constant entropy and reversible. This is reversible, again constant entropy. So reversible adiabatic, no heat transfer. As I told you, heat transfer can change the entropy. So here there is no reversible heat, no heat transfer, and it's a reversible process. No heat transfer, reversible process. We know that dq is equal to dq reversible is equal to TdS, right? So if dq reversible is 0, then entropy change is 0. So this is no heat transfer here, no heat transfer here. And here there is isothermal heat transfer. How much is the heat transfer? Change in entropy at a constant temperature. TdS is the heat transfer here. Again, TdS is the heat transfer. So this is a, you can say if you want to build a Carnot cycle using water and steam, this is how you can build it. Right? This is how you can build it. If you look at the P and specific volume, this specific volume and PV, then this is how it will look like. This is how the Carnot cycle will look like. So what is a Carnot cycle? Right. So this is a typical Carnot cycle. This is not a typical Carnot cycle. So this is a cycle that we have in real power plants. It is little bit different from the actual Carnot cycle. See, it is a little bit different. So that is an idealization. In real power plants, we don't have Carnot cycle, but that is an idealization that we have. So this is a real cycle. See, it is different from the Carnot cycle. Carnot cycle was here, and here it's different. So we will these things we will learn, but we must learn what is a Carnot cycle because this is an idealization. Okay, let us end it here.